All right, let's talk about one of the all-time classic dog tricks, playing dead. I mean, it's a classic for a reason, right? It's super impressive, it's a lot of fun, and it's pretty much a guaranteed showstopper. But what if I told you that this trick is about so much more than just a dramatic flop to the floor? We're about to dive into why teaching this one command might just be one of the best things you ever do for your relationship with your dog.
So let's just get right to it. When you think about teaching your dog to play dead, do you just picture a silly party trick? Something to get a laugh out of your friends and family?
Well, the answer is a big no. It's not even close. In reality, teaching this trick is an incredibly powerful way to strengthen the bond you have with your dog and to give them a fantastic mental workout. We're talking about building a real deep connection here, not just checking a command off a list.
Okay, so in this first section, let's really break down why this trick is so much more than it seems on the surface.
And this quote from Doggozilla magazine just hits the nail on the head. Think of this trick not just as a task, but as a shared activity, a way to engage your dog's brain in a totally unique way and really build that two-way communication.
Now, when you look at all these benefits, you can see how they're all connected. You give your dog some much-needed mental enrichment, which in turn helps prevent boredom and all the little problem behaviors that can pop up because of it. At the same time, you're learning to read your dog's cues better, and they're learning to focus on yours. It even taps into their natural instincts for things like playful submission. It all weaves together to create a much more harmonious, cooperative relationship between you two.
All right, I hope you're sold on the why, but before we jump into the how-to, we've got to lay the groundwork. Let's move on and talk about setting you and your dog up for total success. So, think about it like this. You can't build a house without a solid foundation. Well, the sit and down commands, they are your foundation. Sit gets your dog focused and in a controlled posture. And down, that's the essential starting position for this whole trick. If you can get those solid first, everything else is going to be so much smoother.
And this right here is your pre-flight checklist. First, find a comfortable, quiet spot where your dog feels safe. Get rid of distractions. That means turn off the TV, maybe put your phone on silent. Next, grab those extra special, high-value treats. The ones that your dog would do anything for. And maybe most important of all, bring a patient and positive attitude. Your dog totally feeds off your energy, so keep it fun.
Okay, prep work is done. You've got the space, you've got the treats, and you've got the right mindset. Now it's time for the main event. Here's your step-by-step guide. We're going to start simple. First, ask your dog to get into the down position. Then, you introduce your cue word. Let's use bang for this example. As you say bang, you're going to gently guide your dog over onto their side. And the second they're on their side, you reward them. Lots of praise and a treat. That immediate timing is so important. And please, remember this. Consistency is your absolute best friend here. It is way more effective to do a few short, fun sessions that are just a couple of minutes long than to try and do one long, frustrating marathon. The goal is to keep your dog excited and engaged, not burned out. Now, what if that first method isn't quite clicking? No problem. Here's another approach, the luring technique. For this one, you'll start with your dog standing. Take a treat, hold it right near their nose, and then slowly guide it back towards their shoulder. That motion is naturally going to make them shift their weight and lie on their side. And again, the moment they do it, praise and reward. So your dog is starting to get the basic idea. That's awesome. But how do you make sure this trick really sticks for the long haul? That's what we're going to cover in our final section.
The entire engine that powers this training is one simple, powerful concept: positive reinforcement. It's not complicated. Every time your dog does the thing you want, you reward them. You're basically saying, yes, that's exactly it. Do that again. It not only makes the trick stick, but it turns training into a super positive game that actually makes your bond even stronger.
Now, it's really easy to make a few common mistakes without even realizing it. So let's look at what to do versus what to avoid. Always use the same command and hand signal. Don't say bang one day and play dead the next. That's just confusing. And make sure you give that reward the instant they do the trick, not a few seconds later. And as we said, keep those sessions short and sweet. So to wrap up, here are a few pro tips to really lock this in. Be super consistent with your words and gestures. You might want to look into clicker training. It's a fantastic tool for marking that exact moment of success. And try to work the trick into your daily routine, maybe before meals. And finally, always end every single training session on a high note, even if it's just with a simple sit that they nail every time. This brings us all the way back to our first big question. After going through all of these steps,
Are we really just talking about strict obedience training, or is there something else going on here?
And I think this quote from the source material just says it all. It's about embracing playfulness. It's a powerful reminder that the goal isn't just to get to the finish line. The journey you take together to get there, that's where the real magic is. Because in the end, that's the real takeaway here. The true reward isn't a dog who can dramatically play dead on command. It's the trust, the communication, and that incredible, joyful connection that you build, piece by piece, while you're both figuring it out together.